Hey everybody, it's Bridgette Dolgoff, Conscious of Economics and Urban Farm Projecto. Early Saturday, but I kind of wanted to report in. So, after I citizen lobbied with, 7 other just amazing citizen lobbyist legal minds that have been holding Nevada together barely since 1974, they took me under their wing. That's when the state decided to try to come after me for my private practice and, was chasing me all over with the police and cease and desisting me. It was a really scary period of my life. So we found a bill, so I started citizen lobbying, and that's where I really got off the fence and really started learning law and really got into common law and just a lot of other stuff. And I also, learned to read the languaging of legislation, and, go to listen to the bills, the openings and closings of them and follow them through. And I kicked ass on 47 bills, including SB 69, which was the Complementary Medicine Act, which unless you were an MD, you couldn't do anything in this state. You couldn't even have a supplement. It would have been a level 1 felony. And there was also the Real ID, which was supposed to go into effect this year here in Nevada. And the original bill, I believe, would have chipped babies at the hospital without parent consent. So I always tell people I went from a conspiracist to a factualist. Everything that, I had known and people calling me a conspiracist actually found in 2009, found in every piece of legislation. And there were only 8 of us combing through 1,500 bills and fighting against 890 paid lobbyists and senators who brought those bills in for those lobbyists that were really working against you. It's all about money, and you're an asset. The children you have are assets. And so, I've talked about this extensively on radio. So a month ago, I decided, I'm going to register to vote, and I'm going to vote. Because once again, I want to know what the truth is, right? And so if you look at the last video I post about ballots going door to door on my channel, Conscious of Economics and Urban Farm Project YouTube channel, you'll see what happened on Saturday, which, doesn't shock me, but, it's part of this whole, political, legal structure that's insanity. Do I regret hopping back in and looking at the insanity? No. And today I really, today's Tuesday, and I really focused in on intentionalizing and holding the attention while I was in line to vote. I've been stamped. So a month ago I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to register to vote. It's been a long time. I'm going to vote Republican, blah, 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 blah. Plus, Janine Hansen, who, though we had, major disagreements, really taught me a lot about lobbying and legislation and how to testify, and how to bring research and, how to fight. And, we had to agree to disagree on a lot of stuff because she's extreme conservative Mormon. So, yeah. But you know what? She was running. So, I think for a Senate position. So I also wanted to vote to support her because regardless of whatever, agree to disagree, she has huge amounts of integrity, period, end of story, and is brilliant. So, I just kind of wanted to talk about what happened today. because I'm just shocked at the level of fraud in the voting situation, which is like, in 2009, the level of fraud being committed on the population through the legislative body here in Nevada. And the other thing too is, like, I just don't think Nevada can handle another 4 years of the governor we have. And so I wanted to use this as an opportunity to, impress onto the holographic system and the AIs by holding attention and presence and being in the present moment. So when I went to the voting polls this morning, actually the spirit world woke me up at like 10 to 6 a.m. because I told them, okay, I want to try to be at the voting polls as soon as they open, because I'm not sure I can handle going there during the day. And, I'll have my coffee in hand, and so I'll be ready to deal with whatever needs to come in. And I'll be fresh in the morning, so my imprint will be better and stronger. So in my world, the systems are constantly working against me. I mean, it's constant. It's like the most unbelievable thing you can just imagine, like dealing with one thing. Right now I'm dealing with a situation with state stuff, and literally I'm at almost a month of phone calls, emails, and everything else, and they still have not properly responded. And this is in regards to stimulus benefits. It's just, you just can't make this stuff up. So used to frustrate the heck out of me because I thought maybe it was my fault when I was younger. But, now that I've aged, I realize, like, it has nothing to do with me. And it's a holographic system that, does not like me at all. And, it's no use on pondering why, right? So I got there to the place where I'm supposed to vote, standing in line, Reno High School. And, before the doors open, and I mean, there's just people pulling into the parking lot. And so we're standing in line and things are moving. And then all of a sudden, everything comes to like a screeching halt. And literally nobody else is moving into the gymnasium for voting. The line is held up for 20 minutes because within the first half hour, 70% of the voting machines go down. Yeah. Offline. And so, just had to wait it out. And of course, they're not going to talk to you about what's going on because it's like all geared towards aggravating people, irritating people, just causing, hostility, making people really uncomfortable. People feel, when you're standing in line, you can feel the energy of people that they feel kind of vulnerable, exposed. You can tell, who are more of kind of the liberals, who are kind of more of the conservatives. They had people running around with shirts on called the election protection. And I'm thinking to myself, these people are frail themselves. Like, they're going to be able to manage, anything that goes down radically. So then they get a couple more of those voting machines up. I think by the time I went in, there were 5 down out of, I don't know how many, maybe 12 or something like that. And so, they're taking your temperature and, you got to wear your mask. So I finally get into the gym. I get up to the desk, where I'm going to sign in. And here I have my thing that I signed up for a month ago. I have my voter ticket with my little code. And the guy that signed me up said, you know, hand this to them with your ID and they will scan it and that all your information will come up. So I've saved it. So I step up, I give her this ticket, I give her my driver's license, and she can't find my name or my birth date or any information about me. So, you know, I have to go bathroom really, really bad. So I'm just getting short because, you know, I registered. I kept saying the same thing to her. I registered. Here's my ticket. Here's my driver's license. I got a confirmation in the mail like a month ago, or, you know, like a week after I registered. She's like, yeah, I don't know why you're not in the system. This is really weird. It's like really bizarre. And she doesn't know what to do. So she ends up, finally, the girl sitting next to her on the other desk said, oh, you got to call this number. So literally on the phone for 25 minutes so that these people could put me into the system. And, you know, I was like, look, I'm aggravated. Like, I just stood in line. Your machines are down. Like, you know, this is fraud. You guys are like involved in fraud. So like straighten this out, you know, so I can vote. And I'm just getting pissed, you know. So, you know, she's like stressed out. She's pregnant. She just shouldn't be doing what she's doing. You know, being 8 months pregnant, I mean, it's going to be a really stressful, long day. And as the day goes on and their machines keep going down and people are not registered in the system, it's going to be a long, tough, hard day. I mean, why she would put herself in that kind of situation and her baby, I have no idea. And you could just tell that she's frail. Like all these people who are working there at Reno High School they were all insecure. They all had a frailty and nervousness. And I thought, you know, this is crazy. These people, if things go south, these people are not going to be able to manage. They just don't have the backbone, the personality, you know, to be able to handle the public. I don't really like having to deal with, you know, the main public. Okay, hopefully this is not bleeping in and out because, you know, my volume has a tendency to do that. So hopefully, you know, we're not doing that. So finally they get me in the system. I get up to the voter machine and then I finally get to vote. And then I'm out of there. But, you know, I came out the door and there was a lady and her daughter and her son-in-law. You know, the daughter and son-in-law are probably like mid-20s. And so the lady said, like, what was going on in there? And I said, you know what? It's like voter fraud. I said, you know, I hadn't voted in a long time. I registered to vote like a month ago. I showed them my ticket, my driver's license. I wasn't in the system at all. And the woman and her daughter and the son-in-law were like, oh my God, the voter fraud is so extreme, isn't it? I mean, and they even said there's people running around Nevada with, you know, like big stacks of ballots in their hand. And I said, I know, it's like so crazy here. Like it's so crazy. And that tells you that there's a lot on the line, because how could they get people to commit so much fraud if they didn't have a lot on the line? And, you know, people are in financial wreckage here in Nevada, have been since 2008, 2009. So, you know, how much are they paying each person to get one of these ballots, like fraudulent ballot? But anyway, there are a lot of people out who kind of get that. And I think, you know, we're going to have record, you know, in-person voting, you know, in Nevada, across Nevada. And I think a lot of states. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And like I said, I use it as an intentionalization point, which meant I'm getting messages from people. Oh. So anyway, we'll just see what happens. I intentionalize, like, you know, I got up this morning, was really holding my attention, focused on my intention, which was, you know, what kind of world do I want to see after this election's over? What does my life look like? What do I want to do with my life? You know, so I use this kind of as, let's just call it magic. I just used it as a magical moment that I could imprint on the holographic system, and create a projection here in the present moment, fully conscious, and getting that through into the system. And obviously the system was like not really liking it, was, you know, prepared to cause conflict to throw me off my game, but it didn't throw me off my game. I fully went forward and fully conscious. So this is just a message. If you haven't gotten out there, or you don't know what you want to do, you know what? Go consciously and think about, on a feeling level, what do you want your reality to look like coming out of this? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? What do you want to be? What does it look like? You know, and all of that. So maybe that way we'll have some of the better AIs, the more positive AIs, be able to grasp onto it, you know, and that's all you can do, is energetically send it through and be present. All right, everybody, that's it. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye.